GOAT conversations are often heavily debated. LeBron or Jordan, Messi or Ronaldo. They're questions that'll never have a definitive answer.
Messi or Ronaldo? Hold on, let's get back to the video. But bro, I'm going Pele.
But in the NFL, the answer is clear. On offense, it's Tom Brady. And on defense, it's Lawrence Taylor.
Some say Aaron Donald.
Whoever the next player
Not
is.
me.
And I've been fortunate to coach a lot of great defensive players, but be talking about Lawrence Taylor now, that's a whole different conversation.
He won 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. He's one of 2 defensive players to ever win MVP. And he completely revolutionized the way his position is played. This is the story of Lawrence Taylor, the greatest defensive player of all time.
I ain't gonna lie.
And Taylor's story begins in Williams.
He was head hunting. I didn't know he won an MVP though. Guess I did. Let me stop lying. I didn't know. Nah, did I thought he won Defensive Player of the Year. I thought he won Defensive MVP or something like that. I didn't know he won MVP of the league. That's crazy.
Virginia, where he grew up. He was the oldest of 3 sons, and his father, Clarence, worked as a dispatcher while his mother, Iris, was a school teacher. As a kid, LT was a troublemaker. So, in an attempt to keep him out of trouble, he was introduced to sports. But his first sport wasn't football. He started out his athletic career playing baseball as a catcher. LT didn't even begin playing football until he was 15 and attending Lafayette High School, where his coach recruited him out of the hallway because he was such a big kid. And once Lawrence stepped onto the football field, he knew that it was his true calling. A large part of his first season was spent on the bench until 5 games in, when he blocked a punt which led to Lafayette winning the game. From that moment on, LT's coach knew he could be a star. But because of his late start, he wasn't heavily recruited. One school did give Lawrence a chance though, and it would be one of the best decisions in their program's history. That was the University of North Carolina. At UNC, Taylor actually started out as a defensive lineman, and he didn't really hit his stride until his junior season, when he was moved to his natural position of outside linebacker. 5 sacks, caused an eye-opening 7 forced fumbles, and he even intercepted a pass. He showed all the signs of being an elite defensive player and still had so much room to grow. Prior to his senior year, his head coach, Dick Crum, said, "When Taylor has his mind on business, he's as good as there is. I'm talking about everybody in the country now. He is that talented, but he's got to stay mentally ready every Saturday. As coaches, we can help him get there, but in the end, he has to develop that intensity himself. If he does, he's going to be a great one."
All he needed was that. That's all he needed, man, to get him right.
Taylor seemed to have his mind on his business his senior season, as he racked up 69 tackles, 22 tackles for loss, forced 3 fumbles, and had 16 sacks. His 16 sacks set a still-standing school.
They say he had 16 sacks, 22 tackles for losses. But he was at bro. Who was blocking? Who was blocking?
Record for the most in a season. But it wasn't just individual success for Taylor that season. The Tar Heels went 11-1, winning the ACC championship and were ranked 10th in the final AP ranking. LT was named a unanimous first-team All-American for his efforts, as he led the unit that finished 8th nationally in scoring defense and 11th in total defense. Taylor was also named ACC Player of the Year, becoming only the 4th defensive player since 1953 to win the award. Lawrence's play was described by his coaches with 2 words: reckless and aggressive. But that's what made him so special. He had no regard for his body or anyone else's, putting everything on the line every single snap. And his ability to take over games from the defensive side of the ball made him one of the best defensive prospects of all time going into the '81 NFL Draft. 26 of the 28 GMs in the NFL at the time said that if they had the first pick, they would take LT. But come draft night, one of the only 2 teams that weren't interested, the New Orleans Saints, took running back George Rogers with the first pick, leaving the New York Giants to make one of the most.
Was the Saints drunk? Did they not see them 16 sacks and 22 tackles for loss?
Important draft choices in their history, taking Lawrence Taylor 2nd overall.
The New York Giants selection, Lawrence Taylor,
to the Giants.
North Carolina.
Shout out to the 910
It didn't take long
North
for
Carolina.
LT to start dominating the NFL
I'm from North
competition.
Carolina, if y'all didn't know.
Lawrence Taylor was a different story. Lawrence Taylor from day one impacted the team, showed he was the best player on the field, way better than everybody else, and built the defense around him from that point going forwards.
In fact, in his very first training camp practice with the Giants, LT went from the 3rd-team defense to the 1st team.
Bro, you see how fast this big ass was running? I need that 56 jersey.
Before the practice was even over, and the rest of the NFL quickly learned what the Giants had seen all summer, because during his rookie season, Taylor set the league on fire. His ability was something never seen before. He was, quite literally, his very own blitz package. Before LT's arrival, a blitzing linebacker was pretty much an afterthought, dealt with by keeping a running back in to deal with the extra pressure. But Taylor paired superhuman physicality with elite pass rush moves to easily blow past those blocking schemes, which led to the greatest rookie season ever seen from a defensive player. Unfortunately, tackles weren't an officially recorded stat until LT's career was over, but the rest of his accolades speak for themselves. He recorded 9.5 sacks, an interception, and a fumble recovery, earning both NFL Defensive Rookie of the
Hold on, my bro. So, bro, hold on. So the college was accounting tackles, but the NFL wasn't accounting tackles, nigga? How does that even work? So he had 69 tackles in college. They what? Bro, what? That don't even make sense. Like, what? They weren't counting tackles until after he left.
ever seen from a defensive player. Unfortunately, tackles weren't an officially recorded stat until LT's career was over, but the rest of his accolades speak for themselves. He recorded 9.5 sacks, an interception, and a fumble recovery, earning both NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year and NFL Defensive Player of the Year honors. Taylor became the first rookie to ever win an Offensive or Defensive Player of the Year award, a feat that has still not been repeated to this day. He was also named First Team All-Pro that season. And the craziest part is, LT was just getting started. Because despite teams having a year of film on Taylor and adjusting their offense just to fend off his pressure, when
he was... I ain't gonna lie. I'm sorry. Aaron Donald, I don't know who be saying you the GOAT. Yeah, can't nobody touch LT. He probably the GOAT of GOATs, even better than Tom.
1982 rolled around, he continued to wreak havoc. In that strike-shortened season, LT still recorded 7.5 sacks in just 9 games, and once again was crowned the Defensive Player of the Year and a first-team All-Pro. 82 was when the rest of the NFL realized that what the Giants were doing with Taylor was changing the game. That season, the league's total passing attempts outweighed total rushing attempts for the first time ever, which meant rushing the passer was more important than ever before, and that pass rushers rather than middle linebackers were going to be what defenses were built around. So, in just 2 seasons, Taylor completely changed what it meant to be a linebacker. Prior to the 1983 season, the Giants replaced their old head coach, Ray Perkins, with Bill Parcells. And of course, things changed. After Giants star inside linebacker Harry Carson was injured, Parcells decided to move LT into his inside role, which led to less pass rush opportunities, and it caused a lot of friction between the two.
He was a great coach. I mean, the first week that I come to, I'm practicing. So he kept doing that.
That's a hell of a picture. That's a hell of a picture, bro. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. That picture with him, Bill. And...
I'm practicing. So he kept doing that every day. I couldn't do nothing right.
On top of that, the Giants had a 3-12-1 record that season, and Parcells faced a ton of criticism from the fans and the media. Frustrated by losing, Taylor started to arrive late for meetings and refused to participate in practices. But somehow, he still managed to finish the season with 9 sacks, making the All-Pro first team at both outside linebacker and inside linebacker, becoming the first player in NFL history to be selected a first-team All-Pro at 2 positions in the same year.
How do you even do that? Yeah, he's a god.
And following that season, LT found himself in a fight for his services. He accepted a $1 million interest-free 25-year loan from Donald Trump with the agreement that he'd play for his USFL team, the New Jersey Generals. This was a decision that Taylor quickly regretted, not even a month after. So the Giants stepped in, bailed him out of the deal, and gave him a new 6-year, $6.25 million contract. And after...
Hold on, is that true? 25... What? Was that true? Why the hell you do that, dumbass? What the... Yeah, that can't be true. Somebody tell me in the comments that was a lie. Please, somebody tell me in the comments that gotta be false information. 'Cause what?
That show of faith from the team, LT returned for the '84 season rejuvenated and more determined than ever to prove his dominance on the field. He returned to his outside linebacker position and had 11.5 sacks, a career high at the time. But more importantly, the Giants bounced back as well, achieving a 9-7 record, making the playoffs for the first time since Taylor's rookie year.
About the 5 sweetest words I can think of, the Giants are in the playoffs.
In '85, the Giants had another good year, finishing 10-6, spearheaded by Taylor and the defense. LT had 13 sacks, a new career best, and made his 5th straight All-Pro first team.
That's crazy.
But unfortunately, one of those 13 sacks was the worst of Taylor's career. It was a sack on Joe Theismann that broke his leg and ultimately ended his career. And while Theismann doesn't blame him for the play in any...
That's when that left tackle got very, very important. LT reinvented the game all around the world. He created movies. The Blind Side, when that movie first come on, it shows that this nigga LT just
Anyway, Taylor has never seen a clip of the play and refuses to watch it.
I was concerned because, you know,
go back.
Ended his career. And while Theismann doesn't blame him for the play in any way, Taylor has never seen a clip of the play and refuses to watch it.
I was concerned because, you know, even though we were rivals and stuff, I had a lot of respect for you.
This was also a defining moment for the offensive tackle position in the NFL. Taylor was the first great pass rusher to consistently line up on the quarterback's blind side. And after seeing the damage that could be caused by not protecting it, the blindside tackle spot became a premium position, with teams placing their more talented linemen there. But even with all the changes being made to stop LT, the following season, in 1986, he put together the greatest defensive season of all time. Taylor was simply unstoppable. He led the Giants to a 14-2 record, the best in franchise history for a 16-game season, and recording a staggering 20.5 sacks. Mind you, this was LT's 6th season in the league.
That's
so
crazy.
Teams were using chip blocks, double teams, and even scheming plays specifically to try and neutralize it. But nothing worked. He ended the year with another Defensive Player of the Year award, making him one of only 3 players in history to win the award 3 times, alongside J.J. Watt and Aaron Donald. He also won League MVP, becoming one of only 2 defensive players ever to earn that award, and the first to win it unanimously.
Look at that boy, smooth, young Lawrence. Smooth. One of the youngest to ever win it and a decent player to win it. The boy had 20 sacks. I heard cooking people. I'm talking about. When 20 sacks was unheard of.
The Giants rode Lawrence Taylor's MVP season all the way to Super Bowl 21, where they defeated the Broncos and hoisted their first Lombardi trophy in franchise history. Prior to their 39-20 victory over the Broncos, they held the Niners to just 3 points in the divisional round, then shut out Washington in the conference championship. A legendary defense led to the pinnacle of the sport by one of the game's most legendary players. Unfortunately, over his next 7 seasons, Taylor only played a full 16-game season 3 times due to various occurrences. From injuries to suspensions to strikes, the latter half of his career was far from
Hold on, what you mean suspensions and strikes? Well, hold on, we gotta know. Come on, he gotta give us the details about that, bro. I gotta know what happened. What's going on?
smooth sailing. But that doesn't mean LT wasn't still dominant. In '87, he had 12 sacks, despite playing just 12 games. Then, at the start of the '88 season, he was suspended from the league for 30 days for his second substance abuse violation.
Come on, man. What we doing, man? My boy is the GOAT, man. Come on, the GOATs got vices, bro. All GOATs got them. Jordan was gambling. You know what I'm saying? Guy Lafleur, the hockey player, he liked the alcohol. My boy here liked that good stuff. Now chill out.
Taylor checked himself into rehab, and when he returned to the field, it was like he never left. He finished the year with 15.5 sacks in 12 games, including a legendary performance against the New Orleans Saints, where LT played through a torn pectoral muscle. During the game, he forced 2 fumbles, had 7 tackles, and 3 sacks, all while being seen on the sidelines in agonizing pain between possessions. 1989 was
That's a warrior. Nah, he the GOAT, bro. He the greatest of all time.
Taylor's final first-team All-Pro season. He recorded 15 sacks and played the back half of the season injured again after he fractured his tibia. His dominance was still clear, but following the season, the Giants hit a crossroad. The Big Blue Wrecking Crew defense they'd become known for was aging. Their leader, Harry Carson, retired the year prior, and now LT's contract was up. Do you pay the 31-year-old team legend who missed significant time over the past few years, or move on? Well, just 4 days before before the 1990 season opener, the Giants made their decision. They made LT the highest paid defensive player in the league, inking a 3-year, $5.5 million deal. It was a decision that quickly paid off for the G-Men. Taylor played all 16 regular season games and led the Giants to their second Super Bowl in franchise history, defeating the Buffalo Bills. Following the season, Coach Bill Parcells, who LT had become close with, retired, and it became a matter of time before Taylor would call it quits himself. He ended up playing in the league for another 3 years before finally deciding to hang it up. His final game was a divisional round loss to the 49ers, and he said following the game, "I think it's time for me to retire. I've done everything I can do. I've been to Super Bowls, I've been to playoffs. I've done things that other people haven't been able to do in this game before. After 13 years, it's time for me to go." LT finished his career with 142 sacks, 33 forced fumbles, 11 fumble recoveries, 9 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns. His 8 first-team All-Pro nominations are tied for the most ever for a defensive player and made him an easy Hall of Fame choice in his first year of eligibility. But the greatest form of recognition comes from other all-time greats, especially coaches. And when reflecting on Taylor's storied career, John Madden said, "Lawrence Taylor defensively has had as big an impact as any player I've ever seen. He changed the way defense is played, the way pass rushing is played, the way linebackers play, and the way offenses block linebackers." And Bill Belichick, who was the Giants' defensive coordinator during LT's time there, said, "I had the honor of coaching the greatest defensive football player in the history of the game. He helped make me a great coach." And what more really needs to be said after that? Thanks for watching.
Dang, that's, I ain't even gonna lie, bro. I need that 56 jersey now. I need a jersey. Cause LT, bro, I ain't. Why was they? My thing is, why was they suspending him for substance abuse? Like, was he getting caught with the drugs in his house? Like, how was he getting caught with it? Like, it was in his system. They was drug testing him and stuff like that. And why was they testing for cocaine? Like, what was they doing? Like, bro, NFL be doing too much, bro. Like, come on, bro. Look, man, like, comment, subscribe, bro. If y'all want to see more football videos where I watch stuff like this football-wise, the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, you know what I'm saying? All the greatest, you know what I'm saying? Randy Moss, all them people, let me know in the comments, and I got y'all, man. But I'm going to see y'all next video.